How's it going, you lot? I hope you're well and dandy. Now, this Nitro Sport is now sold on eBay, so I'm going to be packing it up in this box here. Now, just, you know, I've had a lot of... If you want, I'll tell you a story on one time, but I've already told it on before, but I'm having a bit of trouble with eBay at the moment. But anyway, I've had a person ask me to sign this before I post it off, but the trouble was, he weren't the one that bloody won it, so it's now signed and autographed by me, also under the body shell. So whoever buys it's going to get the signed and autographed Nitro Sport by me. The thing is, they probably ain't got a clue who I am. They're going to be like, someone's graffitied my truck. What's going on here? I'm going to complain. Anyway, got myself a nice box. Look, Amazon Pantry. Heavy box. It's even got the correct sticker on it. Look. Pack it all up and, yeah. See you later, Nitro Sport. Blimey, you lot. Making sure I've bought this bubble wrap especially for this because I ran out. I want to make sure this gets to this person absolutely perfect, so the truck's in there properly bubble wrapped up. I've got some of this here stuff wrapping up the transmitter, then I've got to wrap up the easy start. Yeah, I want to make sure that this gets to this person without any blemishes on it whatsoever. Spilt a glass of water on my engine heater, look, and it got soaked. So I'm just heating it up, trying to burn off some of the water, you know, because I don't want it to stay soaking wet. Bloody hell, man. It'll be alright, it's just a heater. It works, still getting hot, but I just don't want the cloth to stay damp. It might go mouldy or something, you know. So. Burn it off, burn it off. Alright, you lot, this might be a little bit like far afield from RC, but I want to just sort of tell you something about this because soldering is a part of RC, the RC hobby as well. You might solder batteries, you might solder switches, you might solder electrics, circuit boards and whatnot. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about this because I don't want any of you lot to get hurt. Do you remember a while back I did a video about the Chinese stuff? You know, don't buy Chinese stuff. Chinese is bad, right? Well, and what I've decided to do is I've decided to try and prove my point a little bit more, and I'm buying some Chinese stuff to try and prove that it's no good and not to buy Chinese stuff in general. So I bought a few Chinese things, but videos on them are going to come up later on. But I bought a Chinese soldering iron, okay? Now let's do it, just to explain, if you want to buy a good quality solder, there's probably a few brands, but Weller is the one I like. If you want to buy a good quality soldering iron, you're talking for a new one of about £300–400 or more. You can get £200, you know. But you can buy a second-hand one for 100 quid, a good one, 100 quid, used one, you know. This is my usual soldering iron. It's more, well, when I bought it from a factory clearance, and it's still got the PAT test on it. And it was last tested in 11th of the 2nd, 2004. So I know that it's at least that old, but it's probably a lot older than that, a few years older than that, more than likely. Weller. You know, good old soldering iron, works very well. Someone's abused it in the factory, but I've got a few of these. I've got a couple of spare ones as well. Weller is the one that's one I usually use, alright? But you can buy cheap Chinese soldering irons on Amazon and eBay, soldering stations, or just the iron for about 10 quid, or you can buy the soldering station like what I bought. That was £40, right? £40. And let's be honest, I unboxed it and I was happy with it. It was alright, but I'm trying to use it and it's very dangerous. So if you're thinking about buying one of these Chinese soldering irons, I urge you not to. I urge you to go on the second-hand market and buy yourself a good, decent one. Or, well, just bloody hell, be very, very careful, alright? So the reason I'm telling you a lot about this is because you do some soldering in the RC hobby sometimes. So the problem with this one is, it seems to work alright. I set it to 400 degrees, it was alright. Set it to 350 for some circuit board work when I was doing a bit of circuit board work. There's my schematic there. It's alright, but this handle, this grip here, this is where you're supposed to grip onto. Alright? This gets bloody hot. After a while, you can't actually hold on to this iron. I'm not left-handed, I'm right-handed, but I'll give you an example. That's sort of roughly how I solder. I'm maybe a bit cock-handed, I don't know, but a bit of soldering like that, yeah. And this just gets too hot. This is the grip, obviously. You know, you're not supposed to hold it here because it gets bloody hot. You're not supposed to hold it up here, although you can do, but there's a grip here. You hold it like a grip. Same as this one. This grip on this good Weller soldering iron does not get hot in the slightest. This stays nice and cold so you can do your work. this one gets far too hot to hold, you know. So that's the only problem with it. I mean, it seems to work alright other than that, but it's very flimsy and light, but it's got helping hands built in. You know, you got your sponge. It also has some tip cleaner built into it, which I put there because I was using it. But the tip cleaner goes in there. But I just wanted to make you lot aware. Please be careful if you're going to buy one of these Chinese soldering irons for 40 quid. Just be careful of that. I'm not using this. Like I said, I used it. The point of me buying it was purely to try and prove my point about these Chinese things not being worth it. Don't buy Chinese. So I know I went against it and I bought some Chinese things, but you know, it proves my point. Really, it really does prove my point. I have contacted the Chinese seller, the people who make it, and they've asked me for a video of the problem and some pictures. So I sent them a video and I put the temperature gun on there and I took the temperature of it. This grip got to 200 degrees. This grip did, according to my temperature, according to my thermometer, after about half an hour. It shouldn't do that. Alright, when I'm using this soldering iron, this one here, it's on all day long, and it obviously it regulates its own temperature. It's got a number 7 tip in it, which is 370 degrees. And that grip doesn't get hot, it stays fine. This one, after half an hour, it was too hot, it was 200 odd degrees. Couldn't touch it. No good. No good whatsoever. So if they come back to me and they give me a solution and say this is faulty, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, and hopefully they'll send me another unit and I can see whether that's the same. But I've got a funny feeling that this is not faulty, and this is how they are. How they manage to sell these and not get people complaining, I have no idea. But yeah, please don't go and buy a cheap Chinese soldering iron. I'd hate any of you to get burned, because the people who are going to buy those cheap Chinese ones are probably going to be kids wanting to do a bit of soldering to learn. I can't imagine an older, like a more experienced person buying one of those cheap Chinese ones. You'd just go out and buy a good, well-known product like a Weller or other brand that's good, well-known, established one. But anyway, you know, please don't. I'm trying to give you a heads up now. Don't go and buy a cheap crap Chinese one. Go on, if you can't afford a brand new, good branded one, go and buy a second-hand one. Yeah, because you'll be far better off. The thing is with these cheap Chinese stuff is they offer loads. Because if you go and buy a good branded Weller, for example, you don't get helping hands built in. You don't get tip cleaner coming with it. You get yourself set. Well, you probably do get a sponge, but that's about all you get. Yeah, but you get a bloody good quality iron. These Chinese ones, they're like, oh, you get helping hands, you get a sponge, you get solder holder, you get solder. Yeah, they send you some solder as well. You even get lead-free solder. Not that you want lead-free, you want leaded. Lead-free is crap. Don't get lead-free solder. Lead-free is absolute rubbish. You want lead solder. Lead. Get lead. All right. But they give you some lead-free solder, all for 40 quid. Where can you go wrong? A brilliant soldering iron with temperature control, helping hands, a sponge, a packet of different size tips. You know, solder holder, solder. You can't go wrong. You couldn't go wrong if it actually worked and didn't burn your hands off. But yeah, so there you go, my friends. Bit of a heads up, don't buy it. Alright, you lot, I've been doing a bit of woodwork. Look, bloody hell, check it out, eh? Wood, we all love a bit of wood. There's something I just want to quickly touch on as well before I go, because there was someone asking about trim and everything, and then they said that, right, you've got to realise, if you set up your trims, yeah, throttle and all that, you know, trims and all that for one car, if you change the crystal, or if it's a 2 if you put it on a different car, right, it won't be the same. I guarantee it won't be the same. You'll have to reset it, because some people seem to think that they set up their trims, yeah, the throttle trim to be in the right place for your brakes and the steering trim, and then it's fine. That's how it is. It's not the controller. Is that got batteries in it? Feels like it's got batteries in it. Oh, it has. Oh, yeah. What's that all about? People think that it's the controller, but it ain't. I thought they were charged. You're going to have to reset it, okay? So don't think that you can set up your trims and then you can use the same controller on a different car and it be already set up, alright? You're going to have to reset that. You're going to have to readjust them for that specific car. Trust me, I've been there and I thought the same. I had one controller and all I was doing was I took that crystal out and put the other crystal in, for the other car, and I was thinking, bloody brilliant, all my throttle's going to be the same, and it weren't. The steering slightly to the left, the throttle's a bit too much, no brakes and things like that, so you've got to reset the trim. Alright, if I get the, well, I can do a whole video on it, but it's very simple and basic. You're going to have to reset it for every car. It's as simple as that. Yeah, there's going to be people out there that go, well, I don't. You know, I've got 2 cars and I use the same controller. Yeah, you might be lucky, but in general, you're not going to be the same. Anyway, you lot, bit of a short video because, to be honest, I filmed the first bit a while back and then I haven't really had anything else to film. But I thought I'd get that in there. I might do a live later. Today's Sunday. I might do a live. Not sure yet. But I'll catch you on the flip side there, dudes. I was going to go out, but we've had a lot of rain. That Storm Kiara, or whatever you pronounce it, has been here. And then it calmed down, and then Storm Dennis, and everything's soaking wet. And you lot know me, I don't like to take my cars out in the wet. So I've just been starting them up every now and again in the garage. I mean, there you go. I'm going to tidy up this wood mess now, because I've been fanning around making a wooden shelf and all that stuff. So I've got all this sawdust to tidy up. So I'll catch you later on, you lot. Take care.